Hello, boys and girls, and those who like to bounce in between. It's your dear comrade Dankey here, and I was browsing on the new posts on the BreadTube on YouTube, and I found this guy named Living in Lunacy, which is a cool name, dude. I like alliteration, and I like your icon. It looks dope. And this is kind of to prove to everybody, I'm not a troll. I'm not some kind of a goober that just like goes and shit posts. Like I'm really about the free I hate the term the free marketplace of ideas, but I am all about the free marketplace of ideas, baby, rest assured. So there's this gentleman who has sort of an open letter to Left Tube. So I kind of want to see what this guy's got to say. This is straight off the cuff. I hadn't seen this before, so let's check it out. It's kind of a long video. Might not be able to like directly respond to everything he's got to say, but yeah, let's just see what the first part of it looks like, and we'll go from there.
For good service in getting more people to empathize with you. What's up YouTube, I'm living in Lunacy, and today we're doing a bit of a rambly video addressed to left tube, red tube, bread tube, and lefties in general.
I think RedTube is actually a porn website. I was telling somebody out there, uh, I don't know why we went with the term BreadTube when we should have gone with RedTube. It seems fitting, and he said, "Oh, that's because RedTube's a porn site."
An open letter from what we'll call a lilting liberal.
I personally watch hentai myself. I am a connoisseur, but that's beside the point.
Someone who kind of is and has described themselves as a liberal for a very long time. But
Uh-oh.
one value I have always upheld goes all the way back to a very long time ago when I was a creationist. And I was listening to Kent Hovind, who said,
Oh, hell yeah, dudes. Shout out to a fellow former Hovendite. It's good to see more people have grown out of that goober's little cult of personality. That little, ex con goober. I don't know if you heard about Hoven's ventures into tax evasion, but it's pretty hilarious. I might make a video on that in time to come.
as his justification for teaching evolution alongside creationism in schools,
Both sides,
is
guys.
that if you're only teaching one side of the issue, then it's not education, then it's indoctrination. And it's very important to do as much research as you can into every side of the issue, and regardless of the merit of what he was actually fighting for.
And then like people like me and lived in lunacy actually like do what he says, and we go research shit, and then we we find out he's just a fucking con man. It's hilarious. His whole thing is just banking on people being too stupid to like read books.
Or when he said that, the idea of research broadly and don't keep yourself in an echo chamber has always very much been important to me. It was that very thing that put the death knell into my creationist beliefs, because obviously I was researching evolution alongside, because at the time I'd been...
All right, so if I get your drift, you're gonna go into saying the left has become an echo chamber and stuff like that. I don't want to mischaracterize you, so I'm gonna keep listening. But I think I'm getting the general trend of where your argument is going. So
big thing was to debate the atheists. And then I joined the YouTube skeptosphere to become an atheist YouTuber.
hell yeah,
And
dude. That this guy and me, we are on the same track. Like
so, I've been following the skeptosphere for before they gave a shit about the SJWs, which obviously now
yes,
they very much have done for something like 6 years now. And
yes.
I was very much on board with all of that and making content of my own, and I have and
Huh.
still very much do enjoy the content of channels like Sargon of Akkad,
Uh oh.
Tildeer,
Oh.
Vernaculus, Crowton T, Dr. Random McCam,
I don't know
etc.,
who those
etc. But
But dude, let me just tell you, Sargon, he's got the mental capacity of a little baby bunion. The guy's got the mental capacity of a little baby pumpkin. He is not somebody whose content is worth watching, nor even not even like from a point of hate, like what I do. I watch Sargon's content on occasion just so I can poo poo on it, but it's not even worth it. Then it's just getting to the point where it's all just kind of derivative and predictable, and I can guess what Sargon's gonna say before the dude even says it. It's almost like he needs to just make a machine algorithm to churn out his videos because he just keeps whining. He's still on about Anita Sarkeesian. I don't know how long the guy's gonna keep milking that drama train, but it uh, pulled into station a long time ago, and it hasn't been active since.
I always did my best to understand, to to get a feel for what the left really believed, whether or not they did have substantial arguments to hold against our positions.
I would say the best starting point is you know, read the works of Karl Marx, Das Kapital, otherwise known as Capital, in Her Majesty's tongue. It's a good book. It's a very dense book, though. It kind of sucks to read it. The best thing I would recommend is reading Das Kapital with like a companion guide that can kind of break it down for you and explain things a little bit easier because Marx, he's a big brain boy with a lot of big brained ideas, and he doesn't really hold any punches when it comes to explaining his models and his theories and his interpretations of history and all that stuff. Another place you could go is of course Lenin. He kind of took the works of Marx and put them into practical use, and you know uh, there's a lot to be said about the Soviet Union. From a leftist perspective. Not all left hashtag not all leftists think that the Soviet Union was a bad country and a bad place and a bad idea, and you know even though I'm still learning about the Soviet Union, I think from what I've learned, it seems like they had a pretty good idea of where to go as a society, and so yeah, that's where I would suggest you start. Start with Marx and Lenin. Maybe like Engels too, because he was kind of like Marx's like big bro.
So I've been watching, a lot, and especially more recently, as I think a few more of you have just come out of the woodwork and have started popping up in my
Yep,
feed.
that's me.
Peter Coffin, ContraPoints, Non-Compete, uh, H Bomber Guy,
All those
um,
guys are cool.
and all the others. Philosophy Tube,
He's really
and
cool.
even some smaller guys that are popping up now.
Please
I've been
say
watching your
me.
content, and for a long time
Notice me,
it just did
senpai.
not connect. For a long time, it's been you're really not addressing the points, you're really not addressing the arguments, but
Okay.
some things have been sticking with me. For example, I quite like some of non-competes, actual explorations, actual formulated arguments
Me
with
too.
explanations and
The guy does
something
a
of
good
actual
job.
backing behind them when it comes to describing anarcho-communism and the flaws with capitalism.
Now, let me just kind of address that little elephant in the room. I don't consider myself an anarcho-communist. I have my own, little issues with anarchism. Welcome to the world of the left. Is all I can say. Uh, you're gonna get Marxist, Leninist. You're gonna get Trotskyist. You're gonna get Maoist. You're gonna get anarchist. Left comms. I don't even know who else. You're gonna get, Dragon Ball Z boys. You're gonna, I don't know. You're gonna find all kinds of people here. Uh, hashtag not all leftists ideas are created equal. In my opinion, there's certain fields and schools of thought I think are a little bit silly, but the more I learn, hell, I could be proven wrong. But the general trend is uh, I tend to skew towards Marxist Leninism. But to each their own, I guess. We can always just hack that out in the marketplace of ideas.
And some of that's connected with me. I've also been swayed by some of ContraPoint's videos, and
Cool,
yeah, I like some of what you guys have been putting forward, and I'm becoming more sympathetic to parts of what you guys do. Um,
cool.
and I guess I wanted to do a very friendly video with the intention of helping you guys to do what you've been saying you actually want, which is you're trying to reach people. If you are really going to live in the great anarcho communist utopia or the borderless utopia or whatever it is you're striving for.
I want to live in Mr. Dapperton's slave colony. If you don't know who he is, look him up. The guy is hilarious.
To have the progressive society that you really want. Oh, that is one thing as well. How many people on reactionary, we'll say YouTube, are talking about global warming? They're not. Only left tube, red tube, red tube are talking about that, and
Yeah,
that is a big credit to you. And yeah,
it's kind of a
so
shame.
to me, the biggest
You might want to check out the little few videos I did about socialism and climate change. That might be something up your alley if you're into that kind of thing.
problem you guys are having is that people don't trust you, and
You got that right.
some of it is, as you I've heard it said by several left tubey YouTubers that the fault for that lies with your Sargon of Akkads and your Teal Deers and your
Yeah,
Thunderfoots and everyone.
they haven't really done a good job in, making us seem like reasonable folk. I guess you could say. I mean, just look at all like the alarmism about Anita Sarkeesian and just how much that poisoned the well when it came to the dialogue of anything remotely related to feminism and gaming for years on YouTube. I mean, but of course, you being a Sargon subscriber, I don't need to tell you that the guy's made a fucking career out of it. He's made 7 kajillion videos about the poor lady. I feel sorry for her. I don't even necessarily agree with Anita Sarkeesian on not even a whole lot of things, but hell, I mean, solidarity for an oppressed lady, it's kind of sad to see.
Just misrepresenting feminism, just making you look bad, but some of it is your fault. And in this video we're going to talk about a lot of this, and ContraPoints has done a video on your optics, and this is just a little bit deeper, and this is coming from the
I think I've seen the video you're referring to where she's talking about how we shouldn't say bash the fash and the hammer and sickle symbol and part of me wants to do it like a separate video addressing that sentiment because I don't really think we need to sort of worry about our appeal to the optics of the centrist and the right wing elements on YouTube. I don't really care what they think about us. I'm much more interested in getting folks like you who are not just so biased and so bought into all the bullshit that you're willing to, reach across the aisle and actually, have a conversation like a human, like a human being. I mean, you got to understand how fresh air this is. I've been breathing in the noxious smog of the MAGA chuds, and none of those guys argue in good faith at all. So yeah, I mean, kudos to you. This is a good part one. I think I'll wrap it up here and sort of send you this video. I hope you see it. I hope you respond to it. I'm going to go ahead and sub and like. I think you're a cool guy, and I look forward to seeing what you've got to say in the future. So, thank you very much.